Guys, welcome to another episode of Strength Out of Struggle. It's a dream come true, a show that I've always wanted to do, having grown up in TV and wellness. The show each week I interview guests that have been through ups and downs and found their strength through struggle. The next person is one person that's really close to my heart. I got into boxing coaching with Colin Nathan because of this gentleman. One of the biggest hearts I've ever met and known. I've had the privilege of winning titles with, but he's the title winner, one of South Africa's most successful boxers ever. Please welcome to the show, Hekkie the Hexecutioner Budler.
Thanks so much. Nice to be on.
Bro, so good to see you.
Finally.
Like, when I saw you just now, I was like, I wanted to say so much, but I had to hold it for the camera. And because this is not like other podcasts that take forever, I want to keep the excitement going and go straight into the beginning, because when we used to train together, I always ask you these questions, and there are so many reasons why you got into boxing in the first place. I want to go way back to the beginning and the reason how you got into boxing for the first time. I know you tried a few other things and there was a reason.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning.
Well, when I was younger, I couldn't lose at anything.
Yeah.
Board games.
You're a bad loser?
PlayStation. Yeah, bad. I had like 3 or 4 PlayStations, especially remotes. I would break them. I played one game of rugby. The team lost. We lost. And no one was upset. And I couldn't figure this out. Why aren't they upset? We just lost.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
And I never played another game in my life. I played one game and I decided, no, this is not for me. And then someone told my parents that I must do a sport where if I lose, I can't blame anybody.
Yeah.
I have to blame myself, so it must be individual sport. My dad boxed, and we decided that's the way to go. And I have to say, the first time I walked into a boxing room was Hektor at the amateur club.
Yes.
When I walked in there, I felt at home, and it just worked.
So let's talk about the first day you put those gloves on and the first session. What can you remember from that first session ever?
Well, my first session was like a year, 6 months thing where I didn't put gloves on my hands.
You said you started with footwork.
We started with footwork, with punching and how exactly to place your punches, how to keep your hands up.
Technique.
We got technique. We got drilled that for 6 months before you were allowed to put gloves on, before you were allowed to do anything. But it was weird because I wasn't the type. I wanted to do something and I want to do it straight away. I don't want to wait, but
that it teaches you sort of patience.
Yeah, and I was at ease with that. I was at ease with having to wait and having to listen to these people who told me what to do and how to do it. But the first time I had the gloves, and the first time I hit the bag, the first time I did pads, the first time I sparred, I knew this is what I wanted to do. I think I was 7 or 8 years old at the time, and I think then already I knew that I wanted to be a boxer. There was no other option for me, I think.
Your first fight at what age?
I think my first fight was at 9 or 8, somewhere around there.
Yes.
I was 22, 24 kilograms.
Wow.
I was at the Dan Bushney Boxing Club. I'll never forget it. In the West Rand. Dan Bushney Boxing Club. Yeah, it was an amazing experience. I think I knocked my opponent down like 4 or 5 times in the fight.
Like as you would.
Yeah. But I didn't turn back since then. Yeah.
Let's talk about family life when you were younger. Food wise, did you guys eat healthy? Sports wise, was it your dad? Who else was involved in sports, or was it always around you or not? The healthy lifestyle and fitness.
Well, not really healthy. My mom has become a lot more healthy now. She's lost a crazy amount of weight because she wants to look after herself. My dad's always been small. He's got a tummy, but he's always been my size with a tummy. It looks a bit weird. But not really. They always supported me. They wanted me to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I have to say, when they knew I had to do the dieting, I had to get my weight down, they would always push me, always help me. My parents would never offer me anything that I was not allowed to eat. They would make sure that if they had something, they'd eat it not in front of me.
Yeah.
But no, it was just they've always been supportive. My parents have been one of the rocks in my family. You know my family. You know how close we are.
That's what I'm saying.
My dad came to every fight he could. Yeah, best I could have had. I had a very good family unit around me.
So you started boxing, and how long was your amateur career for?
Sure. Well, my first fight like 8 or 9, and I turned pro when I was 19. Yeah, so it was quite a long one. I think my last amateur book, I had 150 amateur fights.
Let's talk about before you turned pro, because there was something about the South African team that didn't happen, or there was a reason why you decided to go pro. What happened around that time?
Well, let me tell you about my amateur career. But
Yes.
like I said, I started boxing at Hexecutioner. Then I went to Witburgie, had my first fight at Witburgie, went to my first championships at Witburgie, and then went to Boyson's, where the rest was just history at Boyson's. That's why I just that's why I became what I became. When I was 17, when I turned 17, I boxed. I was 16. I was still 16.
Yeah.
They didn't allow me to fight Gauteng Joburg championships as a senior because I was too young. I was a week or something, 2 weeks too young.
Yeah.
Then the championship was over, and I'm not in the team, and I have to wait a year. And then they asked me, do you want to enter? And I said yes. Then my parents had to write a letter.
Yes.
For if I get injured or hurt, it will be our fault, our own fault.
Letter,
so that they don't get sued because I was 17 years old. So we put the letter in, and they put me in the Gauteng team. I won the Gautengs, and I won the SOS. And I got chosen for the national team, which was the team to represent South Africa at the Olympics, if you qualify.
Yeah.
And me, Jackie Charkey, and Ashley Glamini, three of the top fighters in the country at the time as amateurs, got chosen, and we were sent to the High Performance Center in Pretoria.
Yeah.
And we were the three.
I remember working there as well, where the Bulls played as well.
Exactly, yes.
Yes.
That's where the Bulls main. That's where they. Most of the overseas athletes come in and they stay there.
Yes.
Exactly. And everything was going well. We went away, but there was a weird structure that they had there. Like we had a trainer. There was no real. We had to drive to a boxing gym. The High Performance Center itself, it's good for sports.
It's gymming and it's swimming and other types of
stuff.
For
other type of sport,
and
exactly.
You can stay
for
there,
rugby,
you can lodge.
soccer, yes, that works for them.
Yes.
Not for boxing. It's not a boxing type of environment.
Exactly.
And then when we would go overseas, the coach that had us there with would stay behind, which was weird. You can't choose. It was just confusing. And I went home for it was my 18th, it was my 19th birthday, because I was 19 when I turned professional. And then I got a phone call from the then boss of the amateur body, and the way he spoke to him with the phone was not nice, because I was at my grand's house, and my dad actually said, put your phone on loudspeaker, so I want to hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
And we just kept quiet, and we heard what he said. And when I put the phone down, my grandma looked at my dad, and she told my dad, how can you let anybody talk to my grandson that way?
What did he say? What is the vibe coming across?
It was just not, he can hire and fire me like he wants. It was just not what I expected, especially not from him. He was actually a very nice uncle. He was a brilliant person. Yeah. But it was just when my grand told my dad, how can you let anybody talk to my grandson? My dad just absolutely snapped. Yeah. So we drove she stayed in Raymond at the time, if I was right, to Pretoria. Yeah. Got my bags. On the way home, we phoned Colin, and my dad told Colin, Hekkie's turning pro today. And Colin says, no, we'll wait for the Olympics. After the Olympics, we can and my dad told him, no, Colin, we're doing it today, or we can go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, actually, the next day we went to the BSA offices at the time.
Yes.
And we had to promise them, I'm going to fight baby champs, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, for them to turn me pro, because I didn't go for licensing. I was allowed to just turn pro because of my amateur background.
Yes. And do you remember how many amateur fights you had?
I'm not exact. Like I just say, my last book was 150.
You're like one of those Triple G type situations.
Yeah, something like I had more than 200 and something fights. But my last book was 150 with 140 wins, 10 losses. And I turned pro, but I never boxed baby champs because at the promoter at the time didn't want us to fight that. And that's how I turned pro. And the rest, as it worked out, was actually brilliant. Because I don't think I would have done well at the Olympics.
Yes.
Because back then was computer scoring, wasn't the type of scoring they have now, which is more professional type of scoring.
Yes.
And I was not good at computer scoring because I came forward and I threw a lot of punches. I wanted to fight. Yeah. Where these guys throw 1, 2, 3 punches and then run away the whole time. I don't enjoy that. I want to be in there for a fight because I trained for a fight. Exactly. So I think it was a blessing in disguise for me to turn pro and not go to the Olympics.
Looking back, actually, cheers, bro. Just cheers to you, first of all. Looking back, was there a moment when you were young as an amateur that you looked up to someone that you saw and you're like, wow, that's what I want to be? For me, it was more like when I saw Muhammad Ali or Bruce Lee or Michael Jackson, one of these people. When I saw Muhammad Ali talking the first time, I was like, who, where, how, what? Was there a moment like that for you?
Well, there was a few. As an amateur, there was actually 2 main guys that I really looked up to as amateurs.
Yes.
The one was Heinrich Brits, was one of my close friends from Pretoria, actually passed away. Was something special. He lost his first Gauteng championships, and he said, "I'll never lose again."
Yeah.
He went 5 years in a 5 years in a row, winning the SAs, winning best boxer at the SAs. He was unstoppable. It was something special. And then another one, which I think you know, is Warren Joubert.
Yeah.
Someone
Was a
what?
Tell me,
we used to call him Pitbull because of his tattoo. He was special.
There's one memory that comes to mind when I remember being at Colin's gym and you guys were skipping, and you told me how when you were an amateur, when I started skipping, Warren used to go for like, how long did he used to skip for? You guys used to try to keep up with him.
No, Warren was special. You could skip for an hour if we have to, and then me and two of my actually close friends, Carl couldn't wait. Two brothers. That's how we saw Warren doing it. So we thought, like, that's part of it. So we would come to the gym at Boyson's an hour earlier, start skipping. We skipped for an hour before we went for a run, and then started our boxing session. Because someone like Warren did it. That was like, he does it. We have to do it because it works.
And how humble was he though? It's like
he still is one of the best people in the world.
Just like you'd never tell, And what is nice is like how I'm giving you flowers today. You always have been that type of person that gave respect. Even though you had outgrown people, the limelight was on you, you'd always find a way of shedding light on somebody else, which is amazing while we're at it. I know it's going to be hard for you to take that compliment, but I've always thought that.
No, thank you, but it's why just talk about myself? Why be like, I'm not that type of person?
It's always about...
You have to give props to the people that deserve it. That's how life works.
Exactly. Now going to that whole amateur to the professional career, now you turn pro. Do you remember that first fight? Take us back to the first fight pro.
I'll never forget it.
And also the preparation to the fight, because now it's weight, it's this, it's that.
Yeah, it was completely different because as an amateur, you weigh in and the same day you fight.
Yeah.
As a pro, you weigh in the day before. Strange to me, but it worked.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I did I think it was a 13 or 14 week training camp.
Yes.
Colin said, you're going to come to the gym this time and this time. I think the month, or was it the month or 2 weeks before the fight, I would go and sleep by Colin. That's what he wanted. You come and sleep by me.
You wanted to make sure.
He controlled everything. Everything. Controlled me getting up for a run. Then he'd drive next to me. I said, Colin, you can stay. And then after like 50 minutes, come and fetch me. Because he would drive slow and the people would hoot and it was quite funny. But it was totally different. But getting on the scale and seeing my opponent, and then I knew my opponent because he was also quite a good amateur.
Yeah.
And Michael Sidiani, he was also from the West Rand, which was also quite funny. Yeah, but I don't know, it was walking to that ring, that feeling you get walking from the dressing room towards that ring. It's something that I can't explain. I still crave it. It's like a drug. And when I felt that first fight, I knew, I'm going to love what I do. I'm going to love this. Because as amateurs there's no real ring walk. You walk to the corner and you get in your fight. Whereas a pro, they play music.
Now, as you speaking about it, I'm remembering the moments before we'd walk on.
Yeah, you hear the people shouting, even if they're booing you.
Do you remember we'd have our ritual?
Oh.
We'd get into the change room, and sorry to jump far forward.
Yeah, you can go.
We get there like hours before, and we're keeping the energy calm. We know that at some point, so you lying on the bed, the boxers are lying, relaxing. Colin and I come together, and the whole way there, we're talking about what's going to happen. We're playing a theme song. Every time Colin and I were playing this retro song, we're preparing to come to the fight. And we'd have moments of you relaxing, and then massaging you, stretching you. And when it's wrap-up time, things go to the next level. And Colin is like a surgeon.
Yeah.
Lays everything out, opens that case, everything's laced up. Then this happens. Then he starts building up. And wow. I remember when they come to call us and check the gloves, they come and check both opponents' gloves. Now you're warming up in the midst. And what people don't understand is that all of us that are part of the team are all feeling like we're going into the ring with you. But there's this silence and there's this buzz. And I just remember go to the ring, we walk in. Before we go in, because you had your thing after you'd win where Colin would lift up. I remember I made a mistake on the first fight. But before we'd walk out, I'd always turn to you and I'd be like, okay, go in. Beep. And you'd be like, then it was game on. put the headgear on you, that executioner thing, and it was bah.
Not headgear, hood. You don't hear headgear as a pro, please.
Execution.
Yeah, I know, no, but that feeling, like I've told how many people, it's like a drug. I think if anybody has been addicted to drugs will understand what I mean, and I can understand why people get addicted to it. Because if you get that, if I walk down to that ring, that feeling, I've tried bungee jumping, I've tried everything, nothing compares to that. You can't relive that feeling when you walk to that ring.
Your face would just go like
you become a different person.
There was a different zone you'd enter, bro, and I was like, okay, even the connection was like a silent connection. Like, yeah, no, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Pats on the back. It's like,
it's weird to say it, but especially in a fighting sport, you're literally going in there to hurt someone. It's not something you just go walk in the street and I'm going to hurt you. You don't do that. You have to have a complete mind change. Yeah. And people that know me and know me well actually can't believe that I can turn. Exactly. There has to be two sides. You have to separate the boxer from a normal person. It's not the same person.
Was it something that what would happen to you in that time in the preparation? Because I told you, like, from my side how I saw it. But what would you be going through the whole day? From the let's actually take it back because I'm jumping a few steps. You got the camp. We're trying to get down to weight. And what is that whole camp like for you until weigh day?
No, the camp is hatred, absolute hatred. So the training wasn't that bad. The training you have to do, it's hard. Some days you feel like completely
yeah.
But you still do it. You just have to. You know you have to. The weight cutting was the worst, as most fighters will probably say. But everyone thinks you stress about the fight, but I think it's more stress about the weight. Getting in there, getting the weight, and making sure that the fight happens.
Yes.
Everything, that the guy's on weight, you're on weight, everyone's ready, and when the fight's going to happen. Because otherwise it's 13, 14 weeks just down the drain. And it's build up. Because you're building up to something and now it doesn't happen. But no, it's a different kind of stress. It's a different kind of mentality that you have to have. But the best thing was always for me, if you get off that scale, as soon as you get off that scale and you've made weight and you take that first drink of anything.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I think it can be a beer.
Yeah.
You're fine. You forget about everything and you're just ready. But what I always used to do, especially getting up for the weigh-in, and I would try and not think about the fight. Like the last week before the fight, it's normally active recovery, just do some light stuff. I'd play PlayStation like the whole time.
Wait. There's so much to talk about in that week, though, because we got so many memories. So let's go before that last week. So every Friday, I remember it was time to weigh you. I had to do body fat checks just to make sure, like, okay, we're on point. Let Colin know, okay, this is where we're at. We do the training with us alternating warm-ups, the boxing, how many rounds. And I remember it really takes a team because we had Vusi doing the hardcore stuff, and Colin would remember sitting and say, we're watching other fighters saying, okay, this is what he does, this way. It was almost like a scientific way of saying, remember, it was like a brainstorm, do this, stop, and you'd even ask a question, we'll go over stuff, and then repeat it again. It was like mental. That's why the sweet science of boxing is not a mistake.
And that's why I was sorry for interrupting, but that's why I was very, very lucky to have Colin. Because at reading a fight, I think Colin's one of the best coaches the world, I think, personally. Okay, he was my coach. I'd probably think, but
I was there as well. I saw it.
And I've worked with other people.
Yeah.
I've seen other coaches. I've heard other coaches and the way they talk. And like Colin in the corner, like he'll say 2 things, sometimes 3 at most.
Exactly.
Because you can't remember 10, 12. You can't. You've got a minute to remember. You can't.
Yes.
And that's why I think he's made it to where he has. He's had the champions. He's the first South African coach to win 3 of the Big 4 world titles. The first South African coach to do that. And why these young fighters and these future champions come to him, because Colin gets them the right fights. He gets the guys paid. He gets them some money. And that's what's needed in this country. Because a lot of guys retire with nothing.
Exactly.
I know where I am at my point. I have to work. Every day I have to train people to make a living.
Yeah.
If you look at what
you did well.
Yeah, if you look at what I've won as a boxer, I should be living in a 3-story house driving a Ferrari. It's fact, I should be.
Yes.
But I'm still happy with what I did, but I'm just mean. That's how people like Colin, that's why we need people like him.
Exactly.
And more fighters need people like him around them to make sure that they make something out of this game.
When I was interviewing Colin, he said one thing that was really important. I don't view fighters as fighters. They're people. They're human beings. We're here on a mission together. And that's what I did notice on working with the team, that everything was important. From checking out your opponent, this was going to happen. Probably this was going to happen. You're fighting an orthodox, you're fighting a southpaw. We'd adapt training accordingly. So when you come in, just follow instructions. This is what we're doing. We're preparing. I'm going to go now to the week before the fight, because now things change up. You've done, like at that point, you can't train.
Stuff's done, yeah.
You've done what you needed to do.
No more sparring.
It's the last bit of training, and I want to use the trip to Monte Carlo as an example, because we had a few different title wins, but now you had to travel, and you obviously can't eat just anything. Now we're on a diet. Now it's up, down, the weight, the what. So I remember we get to Monte Carlo, and let's talk about that week, because we were allowed to go to the breakfast nook and everything else. You in the room, locked up. Only me coming through, and I had to go get. I found a shop somewhere in Paris, in Monte Carlo, and I got you eggs and tuna or something.
Tuna, that's it.
Give it to you. Okay, just take the yellows out, and it's just you and the PlayStation, and the room is just secluded. How was that, getting through that? Because now you're in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, but you're staying there for your mental state, for your everything. What is that like, and what is it like for your mental health, being in that moment?
I think what a lot of people don't understand, because I remember one trip in Monte Carlo, people were saying, "Yo, Hekkie is overweight. He's pulling weight," because they didn't see me. Because the guys were on the beach and they were having a holiday. I'm not there for a holiday. I'm not there for exactly. I'm there to do my job. I'm there to literally go in there and put my life on the line.
Yeah.
Why would I go and swim in the sea? Why would I go and sit and have fun with 100 people around you? One can be sick.
It's just another location.
One can be sick. I would have loved to be able to go and see it. When my wife was with, she went to 3 countries in one day.
Yeah.
It's France, Italy, and Monte Carlo. It was amazing for her. She loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I was in my room, and I think it's just something I just decided when I wanted to turn pro, when I wanted to make something of this, that I would have to sacrifice. There would be a lot of sacrifices through my whole life. I didn't have birthday parties. I couldn't go to my friends' birthday parties because I would always train. I was always boxing. It was something that I decided early on, and it worked out for me in the end. But I think it's just, I don't know.
Did the demons ever, those voices in there, did they always come and haunt you? We all have our shadows.
Always. That's
because
life.
I know this last week it's intense, because I pop in like I'm giving a prisoner something, but you're a prisoner based on your success. You're a prisoner by your own success type thing, but you've got to be disciplined yourself. And we as a team trying to make it happen and keep things in order, whatever works for you. And then there's always that point where we've got to go and train you at night time in the corridor and the this and the that. It was like just hectic. So I always wanted to know how it was for you, this whole process from your perspective, because we were just all trying to get through it. What is the most hectic part of that camp and that last week for you?
Making weight. No, not really. It was getting to the fight. The last week, no matter where you are, you can be we were in Monte Carlo, one of the most beautiful places in the world. Yeah. I didn't care. Yeah. I wanted to go home already. I wanted to fight and go home. That last week, that's how you feel. I want to fight and go home. You don't care about anything else. Because you can't really train. You can't really train. You're doing some stuff like light shadow boxing, some light pads, light stretching. You can't really do anything that's real training. And it gets upsetting, because you're like, I'm wasting my time. I'm not doing what I should be doing. Why can't this fight? And now you're thirsty as well, because you want to drink something, because the fight's coming. You want that extra bit of water. Yeah. It's a different mindset. I don't think it's made for everybody. Not a lot of people can do it. But I loved it. The thing is, I really, really loved that. I loved putting myself into that position. And it was always a mind thing that if I can do this, I'm sure I can be better in the fight. It's all about the fight. That's all I always thought about. I'm doing this to win. I'm doing this to be the best I can be. And it worked out.
That last, that fight in Monte Carlo, I wanted to go to the weigh-in. What people don't know is you have this ritual of after you do your weigh-in, you have to have a certain meal afterwards. And I could see the anticipation in your eyes. And as soon as it was time to eat that meal. So tell everyone now, because I want that special meal after weigh-in.
Well, mine was always a steak.
No, but you had a special sauce, guy.
Yeah, it's like everyone had to make.
What is in that sauce, guy? It was like
chutney. I can't even remember.
Tomato sauce, mustard.
Yeah, chutney definitely.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, but it was anything. But like the problem as well is when you go to other countries, they don't always have chutney. It's like it's not everything. So you have to make do with what you can get.
Yeah.
But my thing was always I had to have a steak.
Steak,
like a blue steak, not. It must almost be alive. A good vet must be able to save this thing.
Yeah,
and that's why I still eat my steak. But that was just a tradition. I don't know why. Something my dad believed in. He said, no, steak is very nutritious, and you have to have it before. And it worked out for me. Bro, I don't think everybody believes in it, but it worked for me.
It was part of the ritual, though.
Exactly.
We all knew. Okay, sip, get that meal ready.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of people have rituals and they do weird things. Yeah. Mine was always I had to have my steak after my weigh-in. Yeah. The day of the fight, I had to get a pasta. And before I walked into the ring, no matter where I was or who was with me, I had to pray.
Yeah.
I had to pray
exactly
to the Lord Jesus to just keep me and my opponent safe. That was the most important thing. Otherwise, I would not fight. And even someone like Colin, who's Jewish, knew this.
We all prayed,
and
bro.
He always prayed with me.
Our team prayed.
That's how we work. Yeah. That's how I know I'm truly lucky to have had Colin in my corner. I was very lucky.
Oh, for sure. I wanted to talk about on our way to Monte Carlo. We're at the airport in Dubai. And I think there was a point where they started, you couldn't have anything.
Skipping rope, the skipping
rope. Remember the story of the skipping rope?
Yeah, you were walking up and down there to try and get a box. I remember that. So it'd take you were gone for we were like, where is Kaz coming back?
Let me tell you about the skipping rope.
I still have it.
Please, God.
I still have the same skipping rope.
I need a picture of that skipping rope. Brown, leather skipping rope. This was his best friend.
My weighted skipping rope.
Yeah, he had a weighted skipping rope, and he snakes at home, the pets, and that skipping rope. So now we're at Dubai airport. They were like, can't take this. Because it's like, what, we're going to strangle someone, we're going to hijack.
I think if it wasn't in the
just post 9/11,
it would have been fine.
Just post 9/11.
9/11, it was completely different.
And another thing is, because I was carrying your belt, they thought I was the fighter.
Yeah, but you look like a fighter compared to me.
So now, I'm like, okay, time for my hustlings. Because I remember growing up, and I was always the one that had to go and talk things. I was like, okay, I'll go and deal with this. So they took me to different offices to clear. Then I finally get to the main office. I'm like, okay, this guy, this rope, he won't leave this rope. It's like, when a baby has a blanket, if he doesn't have this rope, he's not going to hop on the plane. But literally, the way I saw this rope, bro, was like you and your blankie.
Yeah, I get it. I remember.
And finally, for some reason, they were just awkward. But they're like, obviously, I look like I'm from Dubai as well.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, my friend, I tell you what I do. I find the box for you. I seal it up. I finally found a way to seal up your skipping rope. And I came back with after an hour or so.
Like, his cat's coming. Is he going to make the flight? Or did they arrest him in Dubai?
I wanted to show you something that I just found. Tell me your memories of this. New York Times.
Yep.
Remember this?
Yep. It's in Colin's on his wall in the gym.
Is it?
One of the article.
So, first of all, New York Times came all the way to Monte Carlo to interview the mini flyweight champion, the lightest, smallest fighter in the world. New York Times flew over to interview. I remember us sitting, going over the interview. How did you even realize how big you were? Because you're always so humble. That New York Times are coming to talk to you. You were going for these world title belts. You were doing stuff that nobody else had done before. What was it like at that moment when you answered? These people are flying over and asking you all these questions, and you at that level.
Well, I've always been the type. It never really affected me. I didn't want all the limelight. That's why I'm actually, it's weird to say this. That's why I'm actually lucky to stay in South Africa.
Yeah.
Sounds weird.
It's a beautiful place.
People don't understand what I mean when I say that, by the way. Like when I fought in, Monte Carlo, New York Times come and interview me. When I fought in Japan, I would run in the street and people would take photos of me. When I got off the plane in Japan, to get my bag, walking through the airport, people would stop, ask for autographs, take photos of me. in Mexico, when you'd walk to go to the shop, people would stop you. Can I please just have a photo with you? Please, we just want a photo with you.
Yeah.
When in South Africa, I walk around, nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
Because our sport's better publicized other places. And for South African, it makes you feel a bit bad, but I was lucky because I never liked that. I never liked all the eyes on me. I'm not that type of person. But I don't know, it never really bothered me. It wasn't a big issue for me that they came and interviewed me. It was just an interview for me.
But on that point, Hex, I mean, I think our country is generally like that. It doesn't matter who. Charlize could be here. Like, between you, Colin, myself, a bunch of us, we've all been on TV, done a lot of different things, but we just all the same. South Africans we're part of this melting pot.
Yeah.
And we are proud of each other, but we're not going to make a big deal about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, so we all South Africans, we do our thing.
Yeah.
Got a certain sense of pride. What I wanted to talk to you about now is, what was that fight that you thought was your defining moment of your career? That fight that changed everything for you?
Well, there's only one, especially
Yeah.
if you think of it in South Africa, there's only one. That was when I fought in Kosinati Joy.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That's
because
the only one.
Because that's the first fight I came on board with.
Yeah.
And this guy was a beast.
I was going to get knocked out in 3 rounds. That was the plan. That was what they thought.
I felt like I had a vision to call Colin with that, because I was discussing with Colin. I was watching a fight with my partner, the family at home, and you were fighting. And I stopped and I was like, this kid's got another type of skill. I didn't even know you were South African because the sound was off. I was like, wow, I turned it up. It's like, who is this? Then I see you going back to the ring with Colin. Colin's my old mate. Like, I was like, yo, I got to come and help. I got to come and train this kid. There's something about him. I just knew. There was this skill that you had. I mean, and I'm not overhyping you. There was as a dancer, dancers have a certain movement. You had this natural flow and the way you'd pivot and move in and out. Did you always have that, or was it something you worked on?
Well, as an amateur,
I call it swag.
Yeah, as an amateur, I never did, because then I went forward and I just threw punches. I would throw a million punches.
And I've seen you do both.
Yeah, I can. That was lucky enough to do that. And it's weird enough that you say because of my swaggy in the ring.
What the hell?
And my wife always says, but when you skip and when you box, you can move so well. Why don't you want to dance? I'm like, I don't dance.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's when I turned pro, my first 3 fights were all first round knockout. First round knockout.
You rush them down.
And then, I would run at them and just hit them.
Yes.
Then I fought, I think it was my 4th fight. I fought in Canada, my 4th fight. I fought a Mexican guy. And I hit this guy over and right, first round. Poof. Down. I'm like in the corner, walking to the white corner, waiting. He's not getting up because the guy's eyes literally rolled back into his head. He was like gone. And I walked to, I think I was in the red corner, and I was busy walking to the corner, and I looked like, whoa, I'll have to go back. The guy got up, and I went to distance. And then the next fight, I went to distance again, and that's when I realized you can't just walk out there, especially not in a professional ring, and go, okay, not everybody, some people do, and go knock out everybody. So I had to change my style. I had to learn more, how to learn how to move around.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, pace myself, turn guys, make them miss. And me and Colin worked on it. And he's the guy who taught me how to do it. And it just stuck and it worked.
I remember coming in to meet you guys, to talk about the Kosinati fight. Colin was like, okay, we'll try this out. You were there, Colin was there. He said, the guy we're fighting is this beast.
Yep.
And we got an opportunity for this title. Everyone is expecting Hekkie to get run down. This guy used to train with an axe or something. Remember stories about Kosinati? The hype for that fight, the build-up for that fight. Oh, it was like, because I also felt that I had something to prove. Like, I'm either going to help bring success or I'm going to let everyone down. So I was researching, I was doing everything I can. I'm like, how did Ali, how did this, what, I used everything at my ability. I remember also what people don't know is, a few weeks before the fight, we were doing a movement and we cut there.
Yep, got a cut, yeah.
And we had a flip and blew that shit up. Remember, I had my ripcord trainer. I was making you do movements in a certain position.
And a piece of steel or something on the hook. Yeah.
Bro, I felt so bad. But
and then we couldn't spar, I remember. Yeah.
Remember? So it was like so intense. And then now, fight night. Empress Palace. Whoa. Tell me about that night. Because that was like...
Yeah, it was one of the few times that I felt the pressure.
Bro.
because like I said, when they interviewed them, he said no, they've trained for 3 rounds. I'm going to last 3 rounds because he is who he is, and he was he was one of the best fighters South Africa has ever produced. I looked up to
hard as nails. Yeah, you
I
looked up to him. Even in the press conferences, there was like this well-manneredness, and we were like, okay, this is real. This is real.
And like even when we took photos at the way, and he pushed his fist into my face, it was just strange. But yeah, I don't know. When we took the fight, I phoned Colin. Did I phone him or did I go and see him? One of the two, I can't remember. And I asked him, Cole, do you think I can win this? Are we taking this because do you think I can win, or are we taking this just because? And Colin said, no, you're going to win, and you're going to win it convincingly. And from that moment on, I knew it. I just believed anything Colin would say, and I knew I was going to win. And I was just so confident from the start, from the whole. I had never had any doubt in my mind that I would win that fight. Nothing.
I'm not going to lie, bro. From the first day I saw you, my TV screen, I knew this kid is destined for greatness. That's why even when I was training you, I'd be asking you questions. So, how was it when you started? I was trying to get into your mindset. You're this, and you tell me everything. We'd be doing these mock interviews as well. You tell me straight, well, I got to do boxing because I couldn't do the team sports. That just like intrigued me. I'm always learning. I constantly want to learn how people operate. So anyway, that the bells ring. You start going, and we could hear the punches flying. Bah, bah. Fight ends, and now we're waiting for the decision.
Not always.
And then we have the decision that's like, we could go, we knew, but we don't know, because there's judges there.
No, you never know what they see. You never know.
And so I hadn't really seen, because I didn't watch TV. I did TV, but I didn't watch TV before. And that fight you won, I was so engrossed in that moment that I didn't know the ritual of everything. And as soon as the bell rang, I ran to you to lift you up. You were like, whoa, not yet. Like, I was like, but why? Because there was a ritual. Colin would come and do that to you. I was like, oh shit, sorry. I was so excited because we won. I was wanting to lift you up. And after that, I understood there's a place for each person in the team. Respect is earned. All is played. And as a team, now we lifted each other up. How did it feel hearing that win?
Well, my personal opinion, I thought I won a bit further.
Yeah,
but I won convincingly. It was close on the judges scoring. I think it was 2-1 something. Split, yes, 2-1. But yeah, when they said I won, I was not surprised. I was just, I don't know. It was a good feeling to win because I honestly thought I won it convincingly. But no, it's something you can't explain. When you get you know all the work you've done for the past whatever 13, 14, 15, 16 weeks was all worth it. That every sacrifice you made, every second of training you did was all worth it. Not eating the right food, dieting or not the right food, not eating any food, not going to that party with your friends for his birthday. That all of it was worth it because that's what you set out to achieve is winning more and more world titles, and that's all you want to do.
It was incredible. What people don't understand as well is straight out of the fight. It's not like, oh, hey, I've won, now I'm going home. Still got to go for the drug test.
Yes.
You gotta wait and go through the whole process after. While everyone is leaving, we still calming down.
Yeah.
You still like in a haze, like, okay, shit, this has happened. Like everyone wants to talk to you, this is that. You got to go through procedure. Then the week after, explain what the week after is like. There's this whole after fight feeling of.
No, it's relief. You know, you calm down. Well, it depends. If you lose, it's not that much relief. It's like sadness. But if you win, it's a lot of relief. But yeah, there's a lot that goes because you're answering calls. Sometimes you get tired of just talking to people and taking the congratulations. Like, oh, good fight. You're like, thank you. But like everyone's telling you this. But as well, that's something you get used to. I was never a type that would not answer someone or not talk to people. So you have to get used to that, and I enjoyed doing that. But it is sometimes you just want to be left alone for that second. You're done with the training, done with the fight. You just want to just zone out and just do nothing. But also you have your times. Then it's also like the problem is the most of the time after fight, what most fighters do is then you want to celebrate. And I don't mean this for go and drink or anything.
Yeah.
You want to eat some chocolate. You want to eat some cake. You want to eat something,
I know.
ice cream. You want to eat something that's not healthy.
Yes.
and sometimes you go overboard and you go feel sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I think the main thing. You can eat what you want and you just want to relax.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is I always wanted to be with my family. And when I got married with my wife, that was the most important thing to me. Just to have time with them. And you know, that was what I did the last week. Just switch off completely, try and get away from the sport as much as possible. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I'm having a memory of your wedding. I was privileged to be the MC.
The MC,
there.
yep.
Like I was like, I don't know why you chose me to be the MC, but then after I realized at the place, the dancing shoes came off. It's probably the first and last time you were on the dance floor, but you had to get on the floor.
Yeah, definitely.
What is that like to propose to and get married to your, the love of your life?
Well,
let's talk about that love story.
Well, I never proposed. Yeah. I'll tell you the story now. But me and Roxy were in the same school.
Yeah.
I think we are 3 years difference. We never dated at school. Yes. We did kiss one time at an event, at athletics, but we never dated. I always thought she was too young for me.
Yeah.
And then after school, we stayed in touch a little bit, but just like a hi, how are you? That's what was about. And I don't know, just we just got in touch again.
Yeah.
I think I messaged her, and then we just hooked, like connected. It just was easy to talk to each other, and it just worked. She was actually still studying in varsity, and she asked if she can come over to me to study, and she did, because it was weird. So Roxy studied. She like switched off everything, and she had the books and just wrote down so much. And my family loved her. Yeah. She was good with my parents. They absolutely love it, still do. Like my mom and my wife work together. They drive together every single morning and afternoon when they leave work. No, but I think after the first week, maybe less, of dating my Roxy, my wife, I knew I was in love, and I told her that. I told her I think I'm in love with you, which was quite strange, because I never did that. And how we got engaged, I wanted to buy. It was close to her birthday. I wanted to buy, because we got engaged on the 12th of the 12th of the 12th.
Wow!
And that's why I've got a 12. And she's got a 12 tattooed as well.
Yeah.
I asked my dad, what must I buy for her birthday? And he knew that I was thinking of getting engaged. He said, "Why don't you finally just buy the ring? Get it over and done with." What
and your dad's straightforward like that.
You know my dad. He doesn't care. He didn't fall on his mouth. So I got the ring, and I made some trouble. I can't remember what, with my wife, just to get her upset.
Yes.
Roxy was so upset with me. So we went to go and do something at the gym, at the old Hot Box gym. Remember at the old gym, there was a pizza place at the bottom.
Yes.
Angelo's, I think. And we were at the gym, but she didn't talk to me at all. The drive there, nothing. So I said, let's go and eat something. I'm just like, let's go and eat. So he's sitting there, and I'm waiting for the right opportunity. They bring us drinks. We order a cold drink, and I put the box down in front of her. And she's like, oh, what's this? I said, no, look at it. Look. And she opens it, and she looks at me. She says, what's it? I said, no, we're engaged now. And then she started smiling. She's still not happy with the story, because it was romantic. But that's how we got in married. It's something different. And I told her, no, I did that because I didn't want you to say no. You can't say no if I say we're engaged now.
Wow.
No, she's given me the best years of my life. We've been married for 10 years this year.
How was it?
It's been amazing.
Let's talk about being a father.
How
was that when you welcomed baby into? What is that like?
There was 3 things in my life that was very important. Before I got married was when I won the Ring Magazine belt in Japan. When that
was a dream of yours?
Yep, that was my biggest dream, was just to win the Ring Magazine belt. I was 19 to 1 underdog.
And you said this to me, like
we were talked about this, like you said, small interviews in life.
And I've always talked about the belief, and always believed in manifestation and speaking positive. I'm like, I always said, there's one thing that you want left now. And you said, Ring Magazine. You wanted to fight a Japanese fighter. You wanted to fight Japan. There were certain things. Excuse me. And when you said it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and if you believe it, if you say something and you really believe it, that's why you must always. People don't understand. When you say things, you must really think hard what you say and how you say it to someone. Because, like you say, it does happen.
Yes.
it manifests. It really
Thought,
does.
word, and deed.
Exactly.
Power.
So that was
Ring Magazine number 1?
No, number 3. Definitely.
No,
number
so
3.
it's one of the 3. One of the 3.
Yeah, but that one's number 3.
Okay.
No, straight up,
Yeah.
that's number 3.
Yeah.
Number 2 in the thing is marrying my wife.
Yeah.
Number 1, the most important thing ever happened to me, having my child.
Yeah.
There's nothing better, nothing like
You've never loved anything
more. No,
it's like
nothing.
people talk to you about this thing about love, and I'm like, yeah, love.
No, love.
When
You'll
you
know
show
love
up-
when you have a child.
Yes,
That's
unconditional love, it, bro. Like
if someone has to break into my house and pull a gun on my child, I use my wife as a human shield to protect protect my child. I will just, and my wife knows it because I think she said she feels the same way. Because that's our first priority.
Yeah.
Like I'll do the same. I'll jump in front of the bullet for my wife as well. But when someone wants to hurt my child, they'll suffer the consequences. There is nothing better that has happened in my life than that. God knows how to do things. Because we were trying for long, me and my wife. And you know this.
I know.
We were struggling. We went to doctors. We had a miscarriage. Nothing worked. Yeah. And we saved up some money for this. Then I told my wife, okay, we're done. I'm not going to see you suffer like this anymore. Because her dad stays in New Zealand. Let's use this money. Let's go to New Zealand. Let's take the money. We're not falling pregnant. It's not working. Yeah. Let's go and have a holiday. So that was the plan. Now we have to go for visas. And then I said, yeah, but then my wife had to take a wisdom teeth out as well. And now we have to go for the visas. We made the appointment, but first wisdom teeth, we need to sort it out. And then she just says, but she just thinks she needs to go for pregnancy test because you have to before you put in, you go under what's that called?
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia.
Yes, just how to say it, yeah.
And then she's, baby, you need to come. I'm like, what's wrong? She says, I think I'm pregnant. No, baby, don't play a joke on me now. Yeah. We've got these plans. And then she showed me, I think, 2 or 3 tests. And she was pregnant. We had Freya, which was God's way of saying everything happens for a reason. Wow. And another thing why I say that my daughter never saw me fight. She just never saw me get into the ring. And it would have been cool if you saw me winning. But if you look at my last fight and the reason I retired, and another reason why I'm lucky I had Colin, my last fight I got hit. I got hit bad. I didn't go down. I stayed on my feet.
Because of your heart, bro. You wouldn't.
Literally, when the bell rang, when they stopped the fight, I thought it was the end of the round. I walked to the corner to go and sit. I didn't know they were stopping the fight. Yeah. But anyway, I was lucky. God blessed me that she was not able to see that. I don't know. I can't remember what I was talking about.
No, you're talking about the gift of having her.
Happy
that she hasn't seen you fight.
Yeah, and I retired. I think when she was officially retired, she was 2 or 3 around there. So she never really saw me fight. And how long we struggled to have it, that it came at the time when we needed it. We also had it in COVID. Yeah. So the money that we had put away just worked because I couldn't fight. I couldn't train it. You same boat. You couldn't do anything in COVID. You're not allowed. You can't go nowhere to stay at home.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough my wife could work, but we had this money saved, put away, that we could live off. So everything happened for a reason.
God is good.
And God was amazing to us. So we had a COVID baby.
And you got to spend that quality time.
We were so all together the whole time. We were so lucky. My parents, like I said, stay 120 meters away from us. So we could walk to them.
Yes.
And they were close. They're very close to our daughter. And it just worked out. It sounds like another blessing because it was COVID. Everything. It was a terrible time. But we were blessed in that time. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And it happened the right way for us at that time.
I mean, you saw me with my daughters and stuff. So being a father of a girl,
and not that easy.
Here's another thing: is you're only as happy as your saddest child.
Definitely.
I've got 7, so every day is a gift, and that's my blessing. Like I look back right now, and every day I'm trying to make up for the wrongs that I did. I know many have done worse and blah blah blah, but you always look at yourself and think, could have done better.
Yeah.
The more you know better, the more you wish you could have done better, but you can't change anything. You can only change right now. And the realization of how I speak, the tone. Sometimes you come from a bad upbringing. You think you're okay, but you're hardcore. But the kids have been the greatest gift in realization that life is the gift every moment.
No, most definitely. I grew up when I had her. Yeah. Literally, I might have been 30-something years old, but you really grow up when you have kids.
Exactly.
That's when you really grow up, no matter your age. You grow up when you have that.
Exactly.
And it's the times we live in. It's not easy for kids. It's a hard life. So then, also the way I see some people with their kids is, I grew up differently. If you don't listen, your dad and your mom make you listen.
Yeah.
You don't if you don't throw a tantrum, you're gonna smack on the bum.
Yeah.
And I strongly believe that's how I'll bring up my daughter, Freya. She knows that she'll get a smack on the bum if she does something that's unruly. You don't do that. I won't slap her so hard that they want to put the cops me. Yes. Or we'll take her toys away. She knows this. Yes. But I've seen people don't do these things. There's no discipline. And I believe that you have to have discipline. You have to have respect. And we're lucky that we have a child that has that. She has respect. She's got a bad temper, like it's unbelievable,
like a daddy.
But like a daddy. But that's another thing. It's the way the world has changed. Like when we grew up, you never talked back to your mom. You just didn't. I think you were in the same boat. You don't even think about doing that. And today it's not the same, and
there's levels as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to
light discipline and abuse. The levels.
There's a difference, but it's also a fine margin.
Yeah.
And that's something that me and my wife actually strongly believe in. She has to have manners. She has to have respect. But like you said,
but she knows that you guys are mushy for as well.
Yes, no, especially when she wants something, she'll ask her mom, and her mom says, "No, Daddy, can I have a chocolate?" Then I'm like, I have to look at my wife and look where she is to like, did you say no? Is it okay? And she knows who to ask. Like, she runs to me. But the best thing with a child, my child's age, like they say, the first, you'll know because you've been through this, first 7 years, they want mommy.
Yeah.
Then after that, till about 12, 13, they want daddy. I'm not there yet. And then it's friends. So I'm at the stage where
just keep them close while you can.
She wants to play with me the whole time. But if anything is wrong, mommy! If mommy shouts at her, she wants mommy. If daddy shouts at her, she wants mommy. Like, daddy's always wrong, but it's I don't know.
They've only got one.
I haven't loved anything more than I love this child. It's crazy.
It's the real true meaning of love. Oh. What is because this is all about strength out of struggle. Was there a moment in your life that you felt mentally and physically that you just wanted to give up? What is the worst moment, and how did you overcome that?
Sure. No, there's been a few, especially my losses in my career. Some of them that I shouldn't have lost. Which fight? The one fight was when I was a WBA mini flyweight champion. I fought a guy, I think from Colombia. Was it Colombia?
Remember that fight? Yeah.
Or somewhere, I can't remember.
And he just came in. He just came in like
and he was, I was supposed to beat this guy.
Yeah.
That's when I had the back problem and the asthma, when nobody knew about it.
Yes.
And he beat me, and I was like, yes, have I got it? Have I got what it takes to stay in this game and to do something more?
Yeah.
Because I was already a world champ by then.
Yeah. But it also seemed like, from my perspective in the corner, that they almost had trained this guy watching your knockouts and said, rush him the way you would rush others. They made him a Hekkie against a Hex against a Hex.
He was just better than me on the night. He just knew what to do. That's why I always say I was sick. But he beat me fair and square. He was better than me. I'm never gonna say, I lost because I had asthma or I lost.
Yeah.
Because I fought before that with asthma and I still won. He beat me. He was just better, and like you said, they really worked hard to beat me. He did. He wanted more. After that, I went and I sorted myself out. I got better. I found out I had bad, severe asthma, especially I had fitness induced.
I knew there was a respiratory problem. I told Colin after the fight, Hekkie's got a problem.
And you could see it, Colin could also, time I got fit.
I don't know what it's because, but also now we get close and he'll have a bit of this flu or something. I'm like, are we pushing him? Do we go up another weight? What do we do? But I know there's a problem here. I've grown up with asthma as well, so that's why I was also more like, we got to get to the bottom of it.
People don't understand it, because when I wasn't training, when I wasn't fit, I was absolutely fine. It's when I got fit, and when I went to the doctor, he told me, you need to get fit and then come back.
Sports-induced asthma, that's how it kicked me the first time.
Exactly, yeah. And then I had to sit in that hype chamber thing when they did tests, and it was bad. And thankfully, I figured it out later on in my career, and I got it fixed. And then we had to go through such a problem to use the asthma pump. But we got it sorted out, and I'm healthy today because I sorted it out. But like, I had to take those losses. Like when I fought in China, when it was so bad that I got sick walking in the street, not even running.
Sure.
Because my chest was so bad. But
how did you overcome these things? Was it?
It's mental. You have to be strong. You have to believe everything happens. And like you were saying, Jesus put things, or even God put things in your way that you should be able to overcome. And it makes you stronger when you overcome them.
Yes.
Everything, I believe strongly.
Strength out of struggle.
And everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. If there was no reason, nothing would happen.
Yeah.
That's how I honestly believe that. Like all the fights I lost, I was supposed to lose. Even my last one. But if I won that, I would have been the first WBC champ in a long time. Well, Kevin Lerena did win it in the end. He's a WBC champion, which I'm very proud of him for winning. But if I didn't lose there and I won, I might have gotten hurt my next fight, even worse, because my body could not take it anymore. But we'll talk about that now. That's about my retire. But no, everything happens for a reason. I think that's how I overcome it. I knew. And every single time I lost, I wanted to be better. Yeah. I wanted to come back stronger and better, and I did most of the time. I came back better and stronger, and I think that was just something that helped me later on in my career.
Let's talk about now the highlights. So we know there were those three bucket listings, your wife, baby, the Ring Magazine. I want to talk about the Ring Magazine. We talked about that. What is that moment like? Getting that fight and finally going in there, and what is it like in that fight? And actually, when you won it, realizing this is a manifestation. Was there that moment of like, bang?
Yeah, most definitely. But
tell us about that.
I just say how I got to that fight.
Yes, that's what we want to talk about.
I was fighting. I got a fight in the Philippines.
It never almost nearly happened.
Yeah, through my then promoter. Fight in the Philippines for the IBF world title. And it was actually the refereeing in that fight was so bad. The guy had, I think, 2 or 3 cuts on his face. And every time, how it works in boxing, if you get a cut, you fight, then the referee stops it. He sends the other fighter to the neutral corner, and he takes a fight with a cut to the doctor. Doctor looks at the cut.
Yeah.
If the doctor says, okay, it's fine, they fight again.
Yes.
Now, what they were doing in the Philippines, the guy was sitting in his corner. And the doctor would look at the cut, and then they'd work on the cut, and he'd look at the cut again, which is not allowed. You do it in the round, not in between the round when the guy's sitting having a break. And the scoring in that fight was so atrocious that they gave the fight to our opponent. Also, I think it's a split decision, if I 2-1, because the one judge actually gave it to me, and he spoke to me afterwards, and he says he's sorry, but he told me there was terrible scoring. And we put in a petition. Colin put in it was actually, I will never forget it. We were sitting on the plane. I was next to him. And he was on his laptop sending a petition to the IBF to say he wants a rematch. And then we could not get... They ordered a rematch, but the IBF champ at the time had already signed a contract to fight the guy from Japan, Kenshiro. Not Kenshiro. Now I can't remember. But they already signed the... Let me check. Get his name quick. They already signed the contract to fight this guy. And so they said, okay, let's do this. Whoever wins this fight, you can fight the winner. And I'm like, well, Colin was like, well, that's even better. That's brilliant. Where is that? I'm going to find his name now for you. And he said, yeah, that's brilliant. Let's do that. And I got the opportunity. The guy that I was supposed to fight the rematch again, lost. And I got the opportunity to fight against the guy who beat him.
Exactly.
Which was massive. And what was his name? Ryuji Taguchi, who was at the time 27-2. He was like, I was a 19-1 underdog. They thought I was going to get in the ring and just get blown out of the water, just get knocked out.
Yeah.
That was what they thought was going to happen. So they actually took the fight as well as a warm-up fight for him to fight for something else. So we got the fight, and yeah.
And you had to travel.
I had to travel to Japan, yeah. Train there, which was weird. But the one thing I remember was the gym that we trained in, there was 2 floors. The bottom floor was like the outside fighters gym, and the top floor was where he was training. And the night before the weigh-in, we walked there, and Colin bought me some juice, and he got me on the scale and weighed, and he said, I was quite far under. And I saw Colin's face. You could see that wheel was turning in there. And he said, let's walk up to the top floor quickly. I'm like, Colin, we're not allowed. He said, no, come with me. Take this juice. They're busy training, pulling weight. When you walk into that, look at him and drink. Take a big sip so they all can see you drinking.
Hey, Colin.
And as Colin opened that door and said, Hekkie, you can go in. And I walked in. He was sitting there with a sauna suit on, full of clothes, and his eyes just looked at me, straight at me. And I just took a sip of this juice. And I mean, a big sip. And it was so nice to take that sip. And look, and you could just see his face, like, oh, how's he underweight? And then they chased us away. They were very upset with us. But yeah, I think that also played on his mind. Just part of it. And in that fight, I was doing well, and I think he caught me with a left hook. I'm right. I think it was a left hook. Can't even remember which round. Might have been the 7th. And he put me down. And the ref, actually, I was lucky. The ref ruled it as a slip. Because I jumped up straight away. And then at the end of the fight, first time I've ever seen this happen, but we signed the form. I don't even know what we were signing, because it's when you don't even look at these things, that they could use a replay. And then the promoter jumped in. He says he wants a replay because it was a knockdown. And then they ruled it a knockdown. So then it means that's a 10-8 round. 2 points are gone from me.
Yeah.
And I still won all 3 judges' scorecard. All 3 of them still gave me. So I was so far in front that those 2 points didn't affect me, and I still won.
Did you feel like you were way ahead?
Yeah, no, I felt I won. But you still have that when you're standing in the middle and you hear this, now you're waiting. Oh, is this going to happen again? Is the Philippines going to happen all over again? Like I traveled, I did this great fight. Now I'm losing. Everything's going through your mind. What now? What am I going to do now? If I lose you, I'm done. Then what? How am I going to build myself again? And then I got the win.
So you get the win. How do you feel at that moment?
No, I can't explain it. Like you said, you think.
Do you have a flashback of every time you've said that?
Yeah, I said that I wanted to win the ring magazine. They're putting the ring magazine around my waist. I did this. I won it. I did it. I won 2 world titles. Won the IBF, I won the WBA, and the ring magazine at the same time.
And I was like, I had that conversation with this oak years ago about this belt. Like, I know like this is a mind. It was a mind warp. After that, did you feel like you had achieved everything you needed to achieve, or you still wanted to go longer? What made you stay in there?
Well, that's the thing about most sports people. Like, I think if you're a soccer player or a rugby player and you won the World Cup, what's next?
Yeah.
You have to refocus and want to do it again. Because if you can do it again, it makes you greater, it makes you better. So that's always what
like Alex used to say.
Exactly.
They win a cup game or this, like, none of that. Okay, that's done. Now, tomorrow we're back in training.
Exactly.
For the next game.
And that's what your mentality has to be. You have to want to win the whole time. If you talk about, so Alex, when you retired, look at where United is. They're just not the same anymore. Because they've lost that mentality. And the thing as well is with sport people in general, people have gone soft. Because if I think Sir Alex was still around with the players that they're complaining about things, you would have chased half that team out of away. That's just how life has changed.
Exactly.
So I think I was lucky to grow up in the time I did, to have the parents I did. My dad was tough. He wasn't abusive or anything, but he was tough. Like, if we drive to the gym and we get to the gym and I left my gum guard, I didn't bring my gum guard. He knew I couldn't spar. We would go home because he would make sure that if I want to do this, I had to do it for myself.
100%.
He couldn't help me. No one helps you in the ring. Like, you've got your trainers who like you said earlier, you guys go through it with me, but I have to do the fighting. Exactly. I'm the one who have to get in, and my dad knew it, and I think because of that also made me stronger. It made me realize what I had to work for and how hard I had to work. And seeing my parents work every single day of their lives to get me whatever I needed in life and how hard they worked also helped me in that type of way. But I always knew that I had to work hard to win, especially being the size I am. The guy, people were always bigger than me, so I always had to work harder than anyone. People were faster than me, they're better than me. Like I've got friends that I was amateurs with that should have been amazing world champion fighters. Mm-hmm. They had more talent than I had. They had more, like how you said, more talent than a little pinky toe than I'd had my whole life. And the guys never made it because they didn't have that dedication, that
There
hard
was a
work
difference.
that
Yeah.
you need. You need that work in everything you do in
There's
life.
another reason why a lot of people regard you as one of the biggest hearts in the game. But it brings me back to this moment when I discovered that there's this mantra that you have, this personal mantra that got you through everything. Tell the viewers what that mantra is. Fear nothing except...
but fear itself. Yeah, you can't.
And when you told me the first time, I was like, say it again. You said, because you said it like in a jolly way, fear nothing but fear itself. I'm like, say it again. Fear nothing. Like, real, because there's love and there's fear. If you believe in ultimately, you have to be completely in the belief. The fear is going to take you on a roller coaster of negativity.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, yeah, but like talk about South Africa. We live in a country where you live in fear. No. If you go and drive in a dangerous place, you're going to be feared. It's your own fault.
Yeah.
Literally. Okay, it's still not good that you get robbed or anything. It's not a good thing.
But you have awareness. You can be more aware.
You have to be aware. Because if you also live in fear the whole time, you're not going to live. You're not going to have a good life. So be conscious of what decisions you make, where you go, how you do things. Like sitting at a robot with your phone on your ear, with your window down. It's your own fault that you're getting robbed. Especially if you know where you stay.
Exactly.
You know what's going on around you. Don't be part of it.
Perspective.
Exactly.
Know where you are.
That's why you fear what you only fear. You fear what you, and if you make the right decisions, you don't need to fear anything.
We're running out of time, so I want to ask you one more question. The essence of the show is how people use fitness and a fit life in order to keep them balanced and focused. So at the end of the show, I always ask everybody, what is a fit life to you? Your definition of fit life?
Well, it's being, like you said, being healthy, and like I can get up any time of the night when my daughter calls her, when she's awake and she says, and do something with her. I can go and play with her the whole time because I don't get tired of playing with. We have fun together, and it's also like me and my wife. I can't train her at all. We just don't. It doesn't work. And she's joined the gym and she's loving it. But we've also both bought bicycles now, mountain bikes, because we want to do some riding together to bring each other close. And it's something that's fitness. You have to be fit to ride a bike, otherwise you're not going to be able to do it. And just something that brings people together. Like, I love still going to the gym and doing a few rounds on the bags.
Yeah.
Doing a few rounds. I still love it. I still spar with some of my clients. We spar.
Yeah.
They punch me and I punch them. It sounds crazy, but it gets them fitter. It gets them more confident in what they're doing, and it gets people to enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. At fitness, if you're not fit, if your mind's also not healthy,
That affects everything.
Yeah, it affects your whole body, your mindset, the way you see things in life, everything around you. I don't know. If you're fit, you're better off with anything.
Yeah.
Actually, if you are working if you're a doctor and need to think quick on your feet, what's going on with the people that you see, being fit helps.
Yeah.
It helps you make quick decisions and makes you think better. Just life. It's just the truth in life.
100%. So science is actually backing us up, right? Finally,
Exactly.
now they're saying that just moving takes off years of your life, healthy choices.
Exactly.
You know. So, in closing, when you look into the future, what are your hopes and dreams?
I've always said that when I started out as my career as a boxer, that I would hope to have made some money, but not be like a millionaire or anything like that. I just wanted always to have enough money to make sure that my family's taken care of, and I did that. So my hopes and dreams for the future now is to continue building on my business, training people, getting people healthy, because that's what I love. What I do, to get people healthy.
It's an amazing feeling, right?
And kids healthy, and kids active.
Yeah.
I love doing that, and to make sure that my daughter never has a need for anything. To make sure that she can grow into a wonderful woman and be something in life. That's our biggest wish, is to make sure that she becomes something that I could never become, a doctor or something, because I wasn't clever enough.
We want to leave a legacy. We want to leave a legacy. But make it better for the next.
Yeah. And that. So I don't care if people see me as the best ever or that I was a great father. I just hope I've inspired a few people to say, yes, if he can do it, I can also maybe do it. Maybe if I can learn something from him is work hard. Okay. Work hard at what you want to do, in anything in what you want to do. And like I said, I had to always train harder than everybody else to be as good as I am. To do everything do that extra bit just to get better. That little bit better. That's all you need.
So if anyone wants to get hold of you and like some of your wisdom, where can they reach you?
Well, Budler Hekkie on Instagram, Hekkie Budler on my Facebook, or
Awesome.
Just look me up. You'll find me.
My guy, it's so nice to have meet you again. I'd give you flowers and just wanted to let you know that you inspired me to be the best that I can be, and hopefully we'll continue to inspire each other and do more work together.
Amen.
Guys, we're coming for you. Strength out of struggle, fit life. Keep reaching for the stars and cut.